So, are you struggling to create maps in Fortnite Creative? I know we've all been there. In this video, I'll be going over 25 small tips that will drastically increase your speed and workflow. Unless you're omniscient, I doubt you know everything. This goes over some pretty basic small tips, see more niche stuff that even some of the veteran creators out there don't even know exists. So let's get started. Okay, first things first, some of the pretty basic stuff. Our first tip is with this cube, didn't know, you can press Ctrl C to copy it, and then Ctrl V to paste it. And now we have two cubes. You can also press the delete key on your keyboard to, you guessed it, delete things. You can also press Ctrl S to quickly save everything. If let's say you are placing all these cubes and by some unknown reason you accidentally place it somewhere you didn't want, like down there, you can press Ctrl Z to redo your movement. You can also press Ctrl X to cut objects. One of the easiest tools to move something is holding Alt and dragging the gizmo here. As you can see, we now have another cube. And if I do it again, you can see you can do it infinitely. You can also press Ctrl D and then duplicate it immediately instead of needing to do Ctrl and paste. You can also hold Shift and click on everything, and now we have multiple objects selected. And you can do that same exact alt trick with all these objects here, and you can duplicate all the objects. And just like before, you can delete this, you can copy, and then you can paste it over here if you wanted. Just duplicate it, you can undo it, you can do everything. You can also select everything in your view if you hold Control and Alt at the same time and drag your mouse to make a little selection box. And you can select things. But you're going to notice it selects probably everything in your world. It selects a lot of stuff in your world maybe you don't want. So to fix that, what you can do is go up in here in the settings, turn off translucent selection, and also turn off box selected occluded objects. And that will only mean you'll only select things in your view, and you won't select transparent things. As you can see, we only selected the cubes and that thing, but it's fine, you just get rid of it. And if you didn't know, these settings up here, you can actually toggle it with T, so you can toggle translucent selection with T. And if you don't know what translucent selection does, here's a mutator zone. This is translucent, so if I have it off, I can't select it. I'm trying to click, but it's not working. You can select the little bars, but you can't select the zone. If I press T, now I can. Let's say if you wanted to see what your game looks like in game. What you can do is you press G. As you can see, this is what the player will see when they're playing it, and the mutator zone will obviously be hidden. But let's say if we wanted to here and we did zone visible in game, and I press G, you can now see that only the zone is visible in game. If you press F9 on your keyboard, you can take a screenshot, and you're going to see that it goes to this file location. And in this file, you can see that we now have our screenshot. Let's say if I selected this cube, but I was all the way over here on the map. To quickly get back to it, I can press F on my keyboard, and I'll focus down on the object. If you want to move your camera speed, right now it's 1, but instead of going in here and manually moving it, you can just use scroll wheel. You can also quickly launch a session by pressing Alt P. Now we look at that session. If you select actors by holding Control like before, and then press H, you can hide them all. And then if you wanted to unhide everything, you can press Control H, and now they're back. Now another thing is that in UEFN you tend to swap your modes by going up here and doing this. But if you didn't know, there's little shortcuts right here. So you can press Shift 1 to be in selection mode, Shift 2 to be in landscape mode, Shift 3 to be in foliage mode, Shift 4 to be in modeling mode, and Shift 5 to be in animation mode. Another fun thing you can do is go up here into edit, with the editor preferences, go into here in appearance. What you can do is you can make your own theme. As you can see, I've made this theme. It's beautiful, I know. If you wanted to, if you're maybe colorblind and you wanted buttons to be out more because everything's black or something like that, or if you have difficulty like seeing the editor, this might help out. So what you want to do is you want to duplicate it, and now you can see that we now have all of these different options. You can call whatever I'm gonna call this green, and you can go in here and you can change everything to green. So let's say if you like green, here we go, here's some green. Another thing that might help out inside of the editor preferences is that if you search up color and inaccessibility, you can see that you can actually change the colorblind settings. So if you had these certain types of color blindness, it'll help out. Next few tips will be for the sequencer in UEFN. Let's say about this beautiful cube in here, and if you don't know how to do this, I have a full entire tutorial about it, so if you need to know about the sequencer, you can watch that. But some little shortcuts to know is that you can press up arrow to jump to the start. You can also press Control up arrow to jump to the end of the sequence, and you can also press down arrow to play the sequence. You can also move frame by frame by using the left and right keys on your keyboard. You can shuttle the sequence by pressing J and L. It gets faster and faster the more you press them, as like two different left and right controls. Let's say if you had a camera in the sequence, then to quickly view your cameras, You can press Shift C to, you know, view your main sequence up here, your camera cuts. Very helpful. If you want to quickly put in a key, you can press Enter, and they'll add quickly a key. You can also press the middle mouse button anywhere in the track to also place a key. And let's say if you wanted to change the type of key, you can press 1 on your keyboard for the default one. You can press 2 on your keyboard for this one. You can press 3 on your keyboard, but also that one. 4 for linear, and then 5 for constant. Again, I explain what all these do in my sequencer tutorial. If you wanted to quickly move a key by frames, hold Control and press the arrow keys, and you can move them by frames. Another tip for organization and being quicker is to add a folder to your sequencer. So you can put all your cubes in this folder, and it'll make things organized. Because trust me, when you're making a big sequence, you're gonna be a lot of objects, so it's very helpful to have folders. Alright, that's enough child's play. Onto the advanced features. Let's say you found this nice prop. If you want to find where it came from, you can press Control B, and it will search the exact prop gallery it's from. So you get all the other props from that specific gallery. So as you can see, this one's the indoor residential prop gallery. And then, let's say if I want to know where this was from, I can press Control B. And if you look at that, it's from the seasonal summer gallery. Let's say if your prop was flying up in the sky and you want to put it on the ground, you can do Shift plus N key, and that will ground snap it. Another really useful thing is bookmarks. Let's say if I wanted to keep this angle for this nice little chair, I can set a bookmark by pressing Control 1 on my keyboard. You can see set bookmark 1. Now I can also, let's say if I wanted to also look at this mutator zone from this exact angle, I can set a Control 2 for my second bookmark. And then I'll set this my third one. I'm going to do 3 key, and I can set this one as my 4th one on the 4th key. And now, if I press the 1 key, as you can see, I now can jump to my bookmarks. So I can do 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's very nice. Let's say if you're in a UEFN session and you're miles away from where you want to be, you can actually go and in the UEFN session, right click anywhere, go down to teleport, and then you can now teleport. Now you can see I'm now teleported. Another quick little thing is if you go back to edit, go back to editor preferences. If you switch up startup, you can this is usually off. You can turn this on, and when you load into UEFN, you'll already automatically be loading into your most recent project. Now some people might like this, other people probably won't, so it's up to you. And for our second last tip in editor preferences, you can go into keyboard and shortcuts, and you can change all of the shortcuts and stuff I've told you in this video, which is very, very helpful. And now for my very last tip, what you want to do is you want to go into paste. And what you want to do is instead of having Control V here, you want to put it into here and then delete this. Now with paste here, what you can do is you can copy this with Control C. Wherever your cursor is placed, you press Control V and you'll place a cube wherever. Very nice. And that will do it for the video. These are just some simple tricks and tips. Really small things that if you just incorporate into your workflow will drastically improve your speed. The final tip for this video is to like, subscribe, and use my code in the item shop. And watch all of these tutorials for more of my content. That's about it. See you all around.